Hey, fantastic fam. Welcome to our community where we combine the woo and the work. We are two professional women who believe we can have it all and constantly upgrade ourselves to meet our visions. I'm Kalyani and I've chosen the off-roading path to personal development, being an entrepreneur with the journey of motherhood. I'm an economics postgraduate and I love working with all things mind and money. I've founded and sold one business and I'm now building this business that feels like fun and freedom for life.
Hi, I'm Rupali. I'm a numbers nerd turned Reiki master and many other things. I found a passion for all things wellness. I've worked in banking and finance for 15 years and I love combining that knowledge with all things energetics to create impact in a fun, easy way for others. Join us as we share the behind the scenes of us creating wealth, freedom and magic.
This is one of my most frequent asked questions as well at Sheinvest. And the question is, how much money do I need to get started? I may have spoken about this before, but the number of times I received this question warrants multiple episodes. So let's revisit this question. And also, every time we speak about a topic, something new comes from, the universe. So I will channel that information in this podcast today. I usually give a subjective kind of framework to my clients to work through this number. I cannot tell you that this number should be $1,000, $10,000, $100,000, or even $100 based on my information. And this also goes back to how I often speak about not sharing my personal numbers. I never share my personal profits or gains in business, gains in trading, in absolute numbers. At the moment, at least, that doesn't resonate with me, and that's because numbers lead to subconscious comparison. If I leave a number out there, then subconsciously you may not remember the number, but you're going to remember if you're better or worse than that. And then that leads to your decision making being affected by the number that you've seen me perform, or seen me achieve. And sometimes this is motivating, but over a period of time, it could become a case of either losing respect if the numbers are not big enough by your judgment for the other person, or not relating to their wins at all because their numbers are too big for you. And in either case, it's the percentage wins that need to be highlighted, and it's the percentage wins that need to be focused on by my clients and by my listeners, which is something that I would like to start with. Having said this, the capital that you want to start with needs to be in a happy zone of not giving you sleepless nights. It should not be capital that's taking away from your mortgages, from your kids' school fees, from any of these upcoming urgent expenses that are not avoidable. All of that should be in a liquid account, meaning a cash account in a separate place that kind of keeps getting used up, right? This investment capital, however small it may be, needs to be an amount that you don't need for at least a year. It does not need to be withdrawn for your expected expenses for at least a year. It should not be an amount that gives you sleepless nights, meaning even if as a beginner you don't play your cards very well, though through what I teach in Sheinvest 45, there's a very small chance that it will come to this. We really focus on risk management and not losing even a cent more than you're willing to lose. So that probability is very, very small if you've gone through my programs. But if you haven't, and if you're trying this on your own, if you're someone who's kind of on the periphery and trying their luck, that's absolutely fine. But in case if you don't play your cards well and you were to lose this money, worst case scenario, then it should not be something that you can't recover, can't earn again from your income sources. Yeah, so that's one side of the range that I'm talking about. The other side of the range is this amount should not be so small that it has no percentage value from, let's say, 10% or 20% returns that the stock market will be able to give. So let's stay on the lower end of this. If you receive a 10% on this amount, it should be, that 10% amount should be motivating enough. Let me change this into numbers. Theoretically, you can invest in the stock markets with just $1. But when you invest with $1, 10% returns, which are actually to be celebrated, will only be 10 cents. And does 10 cents make you feel motivated to carry on with the research and the actions that are required to continue your journey? Probably not. So it needs to be an amount that is at least adding to your account, adding to your portfolio. And so let's say if you were to start with $1,000 capital, 10% of that would be $100. Every time $100 gets added when you close a trade, when you earn profits, that's something that I think will be motivating for most people listening. So two ends of the spectrum, two kind of points to remember. It should not be big enough to lose sleep over. It should not be big enough to kind of take away from your expected expenses. And it should not be small enough that 10% gains will not be motivating, will not be sizable. Because absolute values does have a part to play subconsciously, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. So between these 2 points that I've discussed, whatever amount calls out to you is the right amount for you. I hope this was helpful, and until next time, take care and start investing.
We would really appreciate your feedback as reviews on the podcast app you tune in from. Support us also by sharing this podcast with 3 of your besties who would benefit from being fantastic.